we were praising them to high heaven on the last episode, and now they've won and lost a match. But that's par for the course in T20 cricket. Now, of course, England have kept the series alive, but there were some positives for India too, most notably the return of Mohammed Shami. So this wasn't peak Shami. He bowled 3 overs for 25, but he looked all right. Now, how good was it to see him back in India colours? And also, Ayaz, were you expecting it? A lot of us were speculating that he might miss out on the T20s and play in the one days leading up to the Champions Trophy.
So I mean, look, obviously, the series win has proved a little elusive, but there's still two more matches to go, and I'm fairly confident India will win the series. But remember, this is T20 where all kinds of topsy turvy things happen, so one has to be prepared, especially the team after this kind of in a sense it was a setback, but you have to be prepared to as they showed in the first couple of matches that when things got a little adverse, they found players in Abhishek Sharma and Varun Chakravarthy and in Tilak Verma to win the matches from fairly dire situations. So that's something that is needed. I think the point of interest in the third match was I thought Varun Chakravarthy bowled superbly as he has been throughout the series in the three matches so far. So he's come back very strongly to clinch a place for himself in the T20 scheme of things. Remember, it's not easy for spinners because you've got Akshar Patel, you've got Ravi Bishnoi, and so on. There's Washington Sundar. So there's a lot of competition there. And I think Varun Chakravarthy has done well for himself to leave an impact. Now, does this kind of make him, turn the spotlight on him also for the other white ball, format, which is the 50 over format? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, he looks secure in the T20 team. Mohammed Shami's comeback was much anticipated, much awaited. He didn't get any wickets, 3 overs for 25, or some runs like that, but not very impressive. But the important thing was to see him back on the field of play and running into bowl, even if it's 3 overs. It's a 4 over match. So I think my sense is that the tactic of the coach, Gautam Gambhir, and the captain, even Surya Kumar Yadav, is to kind of build him up a little slowly, suss him out how he's faring on the field in terms of fitness as well as in bowling rhythm. I mean, you can't talk about the caliber of a Shami because we know what his caliber is. But is he back into fine fettle? Is he back into rhythm? And is he fit enough to last? Even if it's a T20 match, he's on the field, not just bowling the overs, he's also fielding, and then he has to bat maybe even 5, 6, 8 deliveries. How does this all kind of show up or play up when he's on the field is a matter of interest for Indian cricket going ahead.
Yeah, so you brought up Varun Chakravarthy. I was going to come to him next because he is perhaps the biggest positive for India in this series till now. He's already has 10 wickets for the series. He got a fifer in the last match, and apparently he is the highest wicket taker in T20 bilaterals for India. I think I saw that Ashwin had taken 9. So that's a huge achievement. And what do you think is it like India have other spinners as well, but what makes him so special and what makes him so unplayable right now?
I think he's got deceptive spin. I mean, I think what he's done perhaps, and this is what one hears from the commentators and the experts and the former players, that he's been able to control his pace. It's not just about the flight, because if you fly too much, you might get tonked all over the park with 55-yard, 58-yard boundaries. So how well you control the pace, and obviously which way the ball will turn, which in his case he's been able to be very deceptive for the batsman. He's not easy to read. Now that's something. If you look at the history of cricket, not just T20 cricket, but even ODI and even Test cricket, mystery spinners haven't survived too long or haven't lasted, gone too far, because batsmen and opponents suss out such bowlers fairly easily. Ajanta Mendes is a case in point. Sri Lanka's Ajanta Mendes, who for 1 year or 18 months was devastating. But after that, he was sorted out, so to speak. Varun Chakravarthy started off something like that. Then he got sorted out a bit. Now he's made a strong comeback. And I think that's where his learning curve has shown so much improvement. That's why I feel that he's a far better bowler today than when he first made an impact or made an impression. So I think that he's somebody that India will do well to persist with. There are two aspects, of course, that all these young players, and especially those who are bowlers, need to work on. One is their batting, the other is on their fielding. So whether it's a spinner or a fast bowler, in the shortest format, certainly, but otherwise in all three formats, if your fielding is below par, and you're batting, I mean, you're the old style tailender, then I think that teams and coaches and captains start looking for other options. So these are areas that Varun Chakravarthy, like all the other bowlers, has to work on.
Yeah, so let's talk about England for a bit. Quite a fight back after being 2 down in the series, especially after that second match that was so close. So, given that Adil Rashid was excellent yesterday, do you think that they might bring in a couple of more spinners in the remaining games? Because right now it's quite a mismatch with India playing 4 spinners and England playing only one specialist.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a strong case for playing a spinner, or at least somebody who's, if not a spinner, then somebody who's bowling cutters or something like that. Because obviously the pitches are not helping the fast bowlers at all. What we've seen so far in the earlier matches, even somebody of the express pace of a Jofra Archer has been going for plenty. So I think they must, perhaps make better use of Liam Livingston, who in a sense is also one of those, funny bowlers who can turn the ball both ways, leg spin, off spin, with a slightly unorthodox action. Of course, not as well controlled as some of the other spinners or somebody like a Varun Chakravarthy, but he gives that all-round depth. I think what they really need to get is more runs, batting heft, apart from Josh Butler. I mean, he had Ben Duckett in the previous match, but Harry Brooks hasn't been up to too much. Liam Livingston played a decent knock. I mean, he played a fairly spectacular knock, hitting all the sixes, but he's been inconsistent. So they need runs, and I think they also need a little bit more from their slow bowlers or spinners, apart from Adil Rashid, who I think he may not have the wickets to show like Varun Chakravarthy, but has been quite splendid in the series so far.
Yeah. So, lastly, going forward, what more do you want to see from India? I mean, is the Shami experiment over? Do they rest Arshdeep again, or do you bring in a couple of more batters? Someone like Shivam Dube?
Yes, I mean, Shivam Dube, even Suryakumar Yadav looking for a big score. I mean, he's got the added responsibility of the captaincy, so he's been under a little bit of pressure in that sense. Though they're not, they don't gel. Sky and pressure don't seem to kind of, they look against each other, so to speak. But I don't know whether Mohammed Shami will get another match or not. I think everybody is now waiting to see for this series. Obviously, you want to win the series. That should be priority. And then after that is the ODI series, which is where everybody's focus will turn, because immediately after that is the Champions Trophy. And that's really the big tournament everybody's focusing on, whether it's India or England or any of the other countries that are playing any sort of cricket right now.
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, 2 more matches remaining. The fourth one starts Friday, and there's another grand spectacle, which is Virat Kohli's return to Ranji Trophy. That match starts tomorrow. So, we'll come back to you after that. That's it for this episode of Sports Room, and see you next time.
Thank you. I think it's great for domestic cricket in India, Ranji Trophy, that somebody like Virat Kohli is also back playing these matches. Fantastic.